Hey everybody, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're Daniel and Jordan. And this is the next episode. We'll call this the second episode.
Second episode, yeah.
And my voice, I'm just be straight up honest with you. My voice sounds a little funny.
Sound like you've been working hard.
You know, this is the strange thing. Like, whenever my voice goes as deep as it goes,
Yeah.
I wish that I talked like this all the time.
Yeah,
You know,
I could see that.
because it's only when I'm sick that's the deepest my voice has ever been, and I'm 33 years old. You know, it's never like, even talking on the phone, they're like, "Yes, ma'am," but now they're going to be like, "Yes, sir." You know,
It's a dream for me. Yeah, I go through drive-thrus to order food, McDonald's.
do they still call you ma'am?
They still call me ma'am, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
every single time. And see, that's why I was always trained to just say, "Thank you." Not, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am." And then a woman pulls up with biceps and tattoos. In your case, it's a little different.
They still think I'm a chick when I pull up to the window, usually.
Oh, my goodness. But this is episode 2 of Daniel and Jordan. And, yeah, man, it's been good. It's been real cold, though. You know,
It's freezing in Bowling Green.
Dude, do you feel like the seasons are
It's getting
changing
drastic.
a little bit?
They're wham one way and one the other way, huh? I mean, it's like in the single digits today, I think.
Yeah, my buddy messaged me. He was like motocrossing or something, and he
In
like
this weather?
Yes, like four-wheeler.
Oh, okay.
Like it was a race though. Like there was a ton of kids,
But that was fun.
and -3 is what it was when they started this morning.
Jeez.
I guess with the wind chill and stuff.
Oh my god! But they're on ice or something like that. Do they get to slide around or something like that?
I mean, they're on a four-wheeler on the snow.
I guess
That would suck.
That sounds fun in a way.
Yeah, but
if
I
didn't
I'm
fear
not doing
for
it.
my life.
I can't do, like, once my toes get cold and my hands get cold, I'm like high maintenance. I can't do it. I'm like, give me the fire. Give me some toe warmers or something because I can't do it. But yeah, I feel like the seasons are changing, like, you know, kind of like how we change, you know what I'm saying?
Tornadoes, dude.
It's weird in December.
Tornadoes or freezing cold. Winters are brutal now, and then you get to the summer and it's just.
And the winters usually hit, like, usually February. Like, I remember February was, like, the coldest part of the year for us.
It was predictable, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's...
I don't know when it's going to be cold.
I don't know.
When it's like, I think later this week it turns back up into the 50s at some
Yeah,
point.
it's so weird.
It's hard to manage things.
What causes that? What do you think causes that? Is it global warming?
I would assume it's some type of climate change thing that's happening. People say, though, I guess it's always been kind of like this. So, like, it just happens to be like that. But
you think it's just because we're older, we're paying more attention to the weather now?
I think a little bit because we had that really bad tornado a couple years back that everyone's a little bit more on the edge to where anytime anything happens, I think we're much more just prone to be a little more scared and think that this
Reactive.
might be really bad because this snow, like as bad as it wasn't anything bad really at all.
I mean, I remember I think it was 98.
Yeah.
We had a severe ice storm here. And
like power
tons of
outages
snow
everywhere.
Yeah, and there
for
wasn't
days.
many power outages here lately.
Yeah, our power went out. But it was only for like a night and it came back on like 2 hours later. So
did you like playing in the snow when you was a kid?
playing in the snow, yeah, I had brothers. So, you know, brothers I could bully. So
I had a little sister. And we were both like little girls, so you know, we just
building snowmen out there, weren't y'all?
We'll just stay inside today and drink hot cocoa.
Are you a big snow fan?
I do like it if I dress the part, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like I said, once my feet get cold, dude, it's a wrap. I'm packing it up.
Cold weather is way worse than hot weather in that sense.
Yes.
Like I can get out in the heat and drip some sweat and just think at least I'm losing some weight.
Yeah.
The cold, yeah.
It's just cold.
Stop moving.
Like there's no point.
Yeah. I just curl up and die.
Do you prefer cold or warm? Like what's your favorite time of year?
Favorite time of the year? I mean, when summer first hits, but I hate summer by the time. I just think I don't like too much of anything.
I just want to find that happy medium and just, I love fall, but I love the sun of summer. So if we could take fall's
Aesthetic.
feel,
Yeah.
but the summer looks, like keep the trees green.
Oh, you like the feel, like the cool breeze.
Yeah. The fall temperature mixed with summer.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Although the look of, like, the problem is, I think fall's become, like, so short. Like, it's just like,
it
you
skips.
get a couple weeks where it's like, that's what fall looks like. And then it's just like dead of winter the next couple weeks after that.
That's how it is, dude. It's great. And I think it's because, like you said, some kind of climate change, global warming. The polar bear pissed on the iceberg or something. I don't know what's going on, but something is definitely going on up north.
Yeah, we're not smart enough to figure that out. So I guess we're just here until we get destroyed.
Elon, I need you to give us some answers, brother. What else you got going on this week?
Well, I've had a big week of it's time for some changes, I believe, in my life.
Like
You
girlfriends?
know,
Switching to boyfriends? I mean, what kind of changes are we talking, Jordan?
I'm coming out to the world at this point as an irresponsible adult.
Gotcha.
And I think that it's time for me to become a responsible person and realize the things in my life that I have been irresponsible about. And
where do you start though?
Well, it helped that I had my fiancée helped me.
Usually that's what it takes. It's always a woman, right? Like, Whitney was like, Daniel, you need to straighten your shit up. Like,
and you don't realize all the stuff that you are. And I don't know if that's being a man. I don't know if that's just who I am as a person. But I'm a one-track mind, and out of sight, out of mind. And responsibilities aren't fun. And it's easy to turn a blind eye to all of those things, like your health, and all these things can pile up to just a ton of things that stress you out so much that you don't want to do anything. You just feel not hopeless necessarily, but just like, not energetic to get things done.
Yeah.
And, but ultimately, I think that through the struggle there is a lot of good in doing things that you don't want to do. I think that the more you do things you don't want to do, the easier they become. And the easier it is to have a life that you actually want in the future. And that is sacrificing the now for the later.
Yeah, I feel like there's times where people will say, or Whitney, when I say people, I mean my wife, it's like I'm irresponsible. It's not that I'm irresponsible. It's just I'm really not focusing on the responsibleness, I guess. Or it's just like I'm just so go with the flow kind of guy.
Life is too short, so there is a portion of that you have to have. You have to enjoy life. It's not all like I'm just here to pay bills until I die, which some people seem like. Yeah. You have to have joy, and there's a balance.
Yeah,
and that I think it's really hard to honestly be an extremely hardworking person and also just truly enjoy doing the things you're doing in that moment.
Mm-hmm. So you were talking about, before we started the show, you was telling me that one of the things you did is start a budget.
We started a budget.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is great.
My first budget. I mean,
and how old are we?
I'm 33. It's never... it
never
might
too
be
late.
too late. I don't know. We'll find out in a couple of years. And I'll tell you right now, looking at that budget, it felt like it's pretty late.
Darn. So
we have a plan now, and Katie and I, we've decided we're going to get married. Now, it is later than we want, but at least we have had the conversation about when. In 2026, I think we're going to actually go to Thailand and do that. And we think we've given us enough time frame to save up the money. It just is much more realistic. We've visualized, we've planned out what we're going to do. And now we can adjust those plans how we want, but at least now we don't have expectations of, well, we should have got married this year. We should have got then. We actually have a plan set in place to get that stuff done and to buy a house at some point and all these other goals that we actually do want to hit. And they're things that maybe I didn't think about that much because I think about my music stuff so much.
Right.
But those are things she wants to do, and in a partnership, that's what you have to do, I think. You have to make that sacrifice. I have to think about those things for her so she can achieve things in her life and she can be happy, and then I can be happy, and then, Yeah.
The circuit, the wheel just keeps spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. A lot of people do rush into certain things, especially men. You know what I mean? Like, we're the first to say, like, I'll marry you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or at least I am. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'll date you tomorrow.
Yeah. It's like,
I
hey,
might dump you the next, but
we're dating now. Hey, go get your stuff. Come on, move on in. And people and couples just do rush things, whether that's that first stage of getting together or, like you said, marriage, and not fully thinking about the cost of stuff. Because, dude, it's 2024 now.
Yeah.
Stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
And
it not only that, like, it's just, I think more and more there's so many things that are popping up that we pay for that we think are necessity. It's just like all the subscriptions.
Oh, God.
I mean, that piles up into, it's pretty crazy how much you're spending on just subscriptions on things.
Yeah.
And some of them are like needs to, like, for your job or something like that. But a lot of the times we just feel like we need to have Hulu and Netflix.
Right. When really, like, we have both. And I'm trying to.
We do too.
Like, when's the last time I've watched anything?
Yeah, anything either. Right.
We have kids, so, I mean, they got to
Right.
have it. But I can't think of anything that, I mean, I don't have enough time to just
People
chill
back
by
in the day
TV.
didn't have phones. They didn't have TVs. They didn't have all these things that we feel like is a need that simultaneously isn't giving us anything back in return more than just pleasure.
Yeah.
But pleasure is easy to come by nowadays, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you can stick me in a room by myself.
And I'll figure it out.
I'll be pleasured at some point.
So what's the next steps? Like, as far as your budget goes, how was that? Like, what was y'all's process? Because you said it does take two. Like, was y'all pretty compliant on certain things?
Yeah, you got to know your strengths, right? And mine is not. I don't even know where to really get started with all that because it kind of is all too overwhelming. That's like, for me to like straighten all that out in my mind, I feel like it would take me a full week of focus. Just focusing for a week sounds hard for me. And so she's just really, she's good at that. That's what
she's good at it. Yeah, that's how Whitney is. Because if you told me to pay my electric bill today, I'd be like, okay, who do I pay?
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time I paid a bill with, probably when I was single,
Yeah.
When I only had 2 or 3.
Yeah, right. And us, it's like you tell us to pay it. It's like, okay, right now you told me to do that. I'll go do it right now and I'll knock it out.
Yeah.
But if anything is like in the way right now, and I can't do it right now, in 30 minutes, my mind might be on something else that I'm working on in my head.
Yeah, I was never good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
No budgets, I mean, my bills got paid, but they was probably late a day or two,
Yeah. But you also need to accept like the fees, right? You're like, I'll pay the fee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a little bit extra.
Just $2.
Yeah, for me to not have to think about it, I'll pay the $2.
Yeah, I'm glad women are a different breed when it comes to that because I could not do it. I'm glad she can.
Yeah, there's men out there who can do it, not us.
Definitely not us.
There are people out there who have strengths and people have weaknesses, and you can somehow figure it out. When the combination of the two people who don't do it, though, get together.
Oh, dude, it's just automatic failure. And they're married at that point. Dude, buckle up. We'll say a short prayer after the show.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know anybody like that?
I feel like I see it on TV constantly.
Oh, man. I know people. I could name off a couple in
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky, it's everywhere. Honestly, it's a majority. I'd almost argue that. And I mean, I could argue I could fall into that category without Caney. I could have easily fell into one of those if I got with the wrong person. And
here's the advice of the day. Ask your mom. Moms always know.
Yeah, seriously.
If your mom says that's a good one, that's a keeper, for some reason, I don't know, they have a special power. Mm-hmm. But my mom said it about Whitney. I'm sure your mom said it about Caney. Just put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Yeah, your parents know you, and they know what you need.
So weird.
They know you need management in a certain area of your life, and if someone can bring that stability to you, they can point that out for you.
Oh, 100%. My mom's been right about 99% of the time with my relationships, even in the past. She's like, Daniel, you better watch out, or Daniel, that's a keeper, or Daniel, don't break her heart.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
Yeah.
She's exactly right.
Yeah.
What else is changing? So we're making grown-up decisions now.
Yeah.
How about just feeling 30, dude? Like, how do you feel now that, I mean, we're the same age. We're 33, right? Are we the same age?
30. Yeah. 33.
Yeah, 33.
Yeah.
Be 34. Yours is May, right?
Yeah. And
May
yours is
10th.
June
10th.
Yeah.
That's
right.
how I only remember
Yeah.
your birthday. It's the
Yeah.
same day, just different month.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, well, it seems like you just blinked, and it was like I was 28, and I blinked, and I'm 33.
yeah, I just wished you happy birthday, and now it's January.
Yeah, I can't believe people like keep up with everyone's birthdays and like
Not
wish
me.
them
Thank God for Facebook reminding your ass like, hey, it's Jordan's birthday today. Like, honestly, I don't remember hardly anybody's birthday. There's very select few. One, Whitney's, because hers is 4 days before mine.
She'll be mad if you don't.
And she'll be pissed. Yeah. Yours, because it's the same day, just a different month. My sister's, it's because it's the same month, but we're like 3 or 4 days apart. Or no, hers is the 14th. Mine's the 10th.
I had to ask Candy to be my girlfriend I was wanting to ask her a certain day, and it was in January, and I was like, you know what? I'll wait till the 23rd. Because the 23rd is Michael Jordan's number, and he's the GOAT, number 1. I can always remember 123.
That is true.
Or 123.
Well, I got a keychain on my keys that tells me mine. So Whitney's like, here, I'll just, I'll get you something that way, because I'm like, when did we start dating? When did we get married? People ask, I'm like, I don't know. It's been a little bit ago.
I mean, people have to be geniuses to have all that information in their head.
I mean, you got to know birthdays, phone numbers, a social security code, a password at work. I mean, there's so much stuff that you got to remember. There's no way.
The only number I can remember is my dead dad's.
Really? That's a little strange.
Only because it's kind of close to my number.
just 911. I mean, that's imprinted in my skull, but
sometimes my numbers are close to my dad's, and like those like scammers will tag you in a big group message.
Oh yeah.
So me and my dad get a message from him in there.
That's so funny. So y'all's is the same number, just one separate.
It's
different.
like a couple numbers separate.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
You've had the same number for years.
Yeah. Why change it, baby?
Isn't it like 79 something? I
don't have stalkers. Yeah,
I would have had to change mine by now. Yeah. I've had a couple of stalkers in my life. But on top of change, like just even being 33, what I was saying is like, I just wore down. Yeah. I feel like I'm wore down. I'm on testosterone pellets, in the hip, but I'm due, and I can definitely tell. Because at a certain age, your testosterone drops.
Do you think what do you think? You think you're like getting burnt out or something?
So
like physically burnt out, or is it?
Yeah,
just
it's
mentally?
just like my energy level, not mentally, just physically. I feel like I just
harder to get up in the morning.
Yeah, a little harder to get up. Don't last as long at night. Like staying up is what I'm talking about.
I got a problem too then.
Staying awake. I should have said that, not staying up, right? But no, seriously, just the fatigue, and it may be just because I'm thinking about it more now, and I've been sick for this past week or so, but I just feel just less energy. I'm not sleeping as good, and that's how I can tell. Like I'm overdue. One, because I missed my appointment last month, so I have to go in February because they're all out. But I just feel like
you missed
lacking.
The month?
Yeah.
That plays a role, right?
Yeah, and it's not like you just get this superhuman ability, but you just feel good. Like,
but if you're used to it and you miss it,
you can tell.
Yeah.
You can just...
It's like missing your coffee the next day.
Exactly. You get a headache because you don't have the caffeine.
Yeah.
Your body just knows, man. Your body's crazy, and I'm ready to go get inserted because I'm lacking, and I feel it,
I've got a new burst of energy since I've...
started the budget
wake up call. Yeah,
that's good.
It's a good. Yeah, it's I've been listening to like some podcasts about just like kind of keeping your motivation going, and one thing that's kind of helped me in my mind is you have to be more afraid of. Let me get this right. No, I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. You got to be more afraid of what happens if you don't do something than if you do something. And in this case, it was more music. So it was talking about like You need to be more afraid of what happens if you never release a song than if you do release it and it's not as good as you thought it would be.
That makes sense.
And people think something like that. And that you can apply that to a lot of things in life where what's holding you back from getting something done. You got to be more afraid of if you don't do that, what is going to happen. And I think
it's almost like self-doubt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, or just being too hard on yourself, perfectionist. All those things can hold you back. Or, just being scared of like trying. It is hard to try. It's scary to think that like I could try all this effort and it not be worth it. But if you think about not doing things, is that really worth it too? I mean, because that's a predictable outcome if you don't do things. You can really know, you'll be exactly where you're at right now if you don't do something.
Yeah, it's called, I think Einstein called it insanity. Like if you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So
it'll
you
drive
have
even
to,
more insane.
Exactly.
The more you
have to, you got to change it and you got to just do it. Nike says it, just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just have to take that jump, whether it's with a job, with a relationship. I mean, if you don't do it, you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm pushing my podcast. I'm pushing it because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be the next thing for me unless I just focus all my attention and energy on it. You know what I mean?
And you would never know unless you actually really do it.
And we would have never known if this would be a good podcast if we just didn't. What Jordan messaged me this week. He was like, I'm feeling in grind mode, baby. Let's do it. Let's record.
I've never been in grind mode.
And
I'm trying to get Daniel to teach me.
Daddy.
Well, to me, the word of the week is trajectory. And I think if you can look at your trajectory, where are you headed? And that's a little bit of like planning for the future, right?
Yep.
But you need to look at where are you headed if you keep doing what you're doing today. And if that is if you went to the gym today, well, you could look at that as a trajectory that, well, in 3 months, I'm going to look better.
You're right.
I'm going to feel healthier. If you didn't go to the gym today and you were wanting that, it's a pretty easy trajectory to look at and say, well, you're not going to be in shape in 3 months because you're not going to the gym. And you can apply that to all things in life. What are you wanting to achieve? And look at the trajectory of what you're doing and stop thinking about the outcome of it because it's not going to be exactly how you picture it anyways, whatever it is.
Where you want to be.
But it will be more than what you have now, regardless. It'll be at least knowledge of what to do next time.
Yep. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
It's always about looking ahead. Don't look in the rear view mirror till you've already passed that point, and then you can look back and say, what can I change to do better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I feel like I've done a lot of that within this past year is constantly looking ahead to seeing what I could do different.
Yeah.
And as far as taking the jump was to even just starting a podcast because I was like, what do I say? What do I talk about? This and that. And it's like, you just don't know until you physically do it that it just kind of, certain things just come natural. You know what I mean?
And it doesn't have to be your best idea. You don't have to start like, for example, like a podcast, us doing this. Eventually we were just like, you know what? Let's just do Daniel and Jordan.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a genius idea for you to get you moving. You can start on an idea like this and then we can develop it.
Yeah.
And that's how ideas happen. Ideas don't come genius and then you just have to make that into a genius thing sometimes. But a lot of the times it's just an idea of what you want to do. You start doing it and it develops into over time, it becomes genius because you put all that work into it.
You just did that with some music you just got put out too, right?
Yeah, and we're it's a lot of. I've made music for a long time, and I used to always think it was always about the music, but it's not. It's also about doing the work, and it's also about finding a workflow that just works for you to where you can do it consistently and for a long period of time, have longevity with your work because. A lot of people are in grind mode and they sit there and they grind as hard as they can for a week and they're burnt out.
Right.
Because they're just banging their head against the wall trying to get something done. And it's not necessarily about banging your head against the wall. It's about, I don't know. There's a little bit of banging your head against the wall, but it's not supposed to be extremely hard to do the things you want. It is hard to do stuff, but it's not hard to,
it's all about the balance. You got to find a balance.
Yeah, 100%. It's not grind mode until you go insane.
Yeah.
but it is doing stuff that you want and really doing it.
And you can get wrapped up in that easily because you could be so passionate about something, and it's not like you're intentionally grinding and just working yourself to death. You could be doing that, but you enjoy that.
Yeah.
But the people around you may not enjoy that. You know what I mean?
So and honestly, that's the biggest thing to me, is that working with others, if that's how you're going about it, it's going to be really off-putting.
Yeah, because we're not all built like that. You may be more passionate about this project versus, Jimmy down the street. You know what I mean? So us as people have to understand that it's not just us, unless it is just you doing that specific thing. But just know the people you're around, you got to have a balance, whether that be with a wife or people that live in your house, roommates. I mean, you just got to have a healthy balance, not just for yourself, but for the people that are around you, so that way they can kind of adapt to that situation. You know what I mean?
And maybe the things you're doing is work, and all of it is work. But at the end of the day, you have to be a pleasurable person to be around and to be able to interact with people in a positive way. You can't be, you're being too lazy. You're not working hard enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's just an energy that people aren't going to want to work harder in it. And all that stuff's already decided anyways, how hard they're going to work. Maybe you should move on to working with other people if that's what you're wanting to do.
Yeah.
Maybe you should find like-minded people instead of trying to drag other people down with you.
Have you ever ran across an experience where you've been so passionate about something and like you almost get so frustrated that you're to that point to where you're just like, I got to figure something else out with a different crowd. Like how did you handle that, if you've ever done that?
I mean, I find myself getting really passionate about pretty dumb ideas that are probably mostly in my head genius, and other people around me just don't really, maybe they just like don't see or maybe I've twisted around my mind so much that I can see how it could happen, and they haven't, and I haven't
you can see the trajectory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see how it could happen. I could see I think it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's big on visualizing, right, your future.
Yeah.
And as much as like all that stuff always seemed like, mumbo jumbo, at one point when this past year, I was just like, you know what? What if I just sat here and believed in manifestation and all this, and I just believe it for a little while? And I'll be honest, there is some truth in that stuff. I don't think it's all this like you just do that and then it all happens.
Right.
Stuff. I think there's a lot of weird spiritual stuff that people are kind of BSing about. But all that stuff. How are you going to do something if you don't know what it's going to take to do it? You have to visualize it. You have to know what is it do I have to do that?
Yeah.
And then think about that and then do that. Otherwise, it's probably not going to happen. What was your question before that? Oh, working with people.
Yeah, working with people.
And so I've had these ideas and I've always wanted to do them. I've always been very passionate about doing my silly little ideas. That's where I've got St. J, all that stuff. Those things are just like ideas that come to mind. I'm like, I want to do this.
We got to have St. J on the show.
I'll make some more St. J music, and we'll do some collabs. I
think it'd be great.
Collabby stuff. But these ideas come to my mind, and I get why people are like as passionate about it as I am. But you realize eventually, for this to be a thing a thing that you do that's been over years, you have to have people around you who are also willing to do, like, they see what you see in it.
Right.
And they have a vision as well about it. And it's constant. You are running into people who like the idea, but they don't know what to do more with it. Man. And they're just waiting for you to lead them too much. And you need collaborators. You can't do everything by yourself.
Oh, 100%.
Some people can, I guess, but a lot of the times collaborating with people on what you want to do and finding people like-minded is the easiest way to get yourself actually going and motivated and being held accountable and actually getting the wheels turning. When you can't get your wheels turning, you have someone else who can help you spin your wheels a little bit.
For sure. I found that. That's why I like recording with Whitney, because there's some days where I'm just like, I may have like an idea or a concept in my head, but then whenever we get together, she spins off of it or comes up with something a little bit more funnier. Yeah. You know what I mean? So pairing yourself up, I mean, two brains do work better than one.
Oh, yeah. Writing songs, we've had 3 in there writing lyrics, and not me. I was telling you earlier, I've tapped out of like the singing. Right. My whole life I've basically just been told I can't sing, and I've been trying. But it's hard work for me, and it's really hard work and not really enjoyable work.
What is hard about it? Like actually hitting the notes, or singing? Because I feel like with you being able to play guitar, and I may be going off topic, but you can hear the melodies that needs to be there. You know?
Yeah. It's bringing that out of my mind and into.
So it's not necessarily the words, because you have really good lyrics, I feel like.
I've always hated my lyrics. I think I'm extremely hard on myself. And I think I have an extreme lack of compliments about a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. I don't think, and it's not that I'm writing anything genius anyways, but I'm really hard on lyrics. I really don't like bad lyrics. And I think that I've never been great with words. I was horrible in English class. Right? Writing
cliche
papers,
is the way to go, baby.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly,
keep it simple.
Yeah, but not being ashamed of it either, and not trying too hard to be cliche. You just everyone feels this way. This is how it is. What were we saying?
I don't even remember. I knew that would throw us off.
Dumb.
I'm so sorry.
So dumb.
I think it was about.
We're talking about music. Okay, we were. Us collaborating.
Yeah.
And so I don't like working on lyrics at all, right? And so I'm working with two guys who are singing, right? They're doing the vocals. We're doing a dual vocal thing, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And so I was kind of just like, y'all just do it. Y'all do whatever you all want. I'm cool with it. I trust both of y'all's taste. Just do what you want. And I realized, like, I think we were hitting like it was like, it was becoming really hard to get things done and out of them. And I realized last time, if I just stop sitting on the couch and waiting to see if they get it done, if I hop in and I just start giving what ifs, start giving an idea like, well, what if it goes like this? The vast majority of the time, they're like, no, that's dumb. But it gives them a reason to like
to actually
that's what I don't want to do.
Right.
What do I want to do? And it gets their wheels spinning, and we're kind of feeding off of each other ideas.
That makes sense.
It's where no one's stalled and writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
You're helping someone get past writer's block constantly. And without that, I mean, there's musical geniuses out there who can just don't ever get writer's block, I guess. But collaborating, and this applies to anything. It's not just music. Anything that you have to be creative in, really, having other people to bounce it off of you have to.
Oh yeah.
You have to get things actually done, and you'll like it more because it's not all you, and you're not all judging yourself. You can sit back and say, I trust this person's taste. They think this is good. I can hear why it's good now. I would never have came up with that. And that makes you enjoy your own music more because you're actually enjoying other people's music in your music.
How much have y'all pumped out? Like, how many songs are y'all complete now?
We have finished 4 tracks completely instrumentally and all that. We have all that's done. And we figured out a great way to make it fast. That was the biggest thing for this project with me and Jay.
Like workflow?
Mm-hmm, workflow. We had worked together in the past, but Jay and I would bang our heads against the wall trying to get a perfect song. And he would, he was learning mixing at the time. So it was like this whole thing. And this time, one day he has a hardcore band. I was like, you know what? I just want to be around music. Can I come over for y'all's practice? Afterwards, he was like, you know what? Let's just go to the studio and let's write a song. Whatever it is, let's post it on Spotify tonight. So we went, we recorded the song. I just played guitar. He hopped on drums. He doesn't even play drums a whole lot. He just was. And we just wrote a simple structure song. Turned out to be, in my opinion, one of my favorite songs I've written musically. It's on Spotify right now. Suggestive Themes is the name of the band. It's no vocals or anything like that.
Just do it, baby.
Yeah. And so
seriously,
that night, one song, we just wrote a song in one night. It wasn't perfect. We didn't play it to a click track. We just played a song. We wrote it as, tried to get through it. First time we got through it, kept that take, layered it, whatever.
That's awesome.
Done. And then we just went in, and all of our songs, it took one day to record the whole thing because we weren't perfectionists about it. And we're just learning to love the flaws about it, I guess. And is it worth spending the next month trying to get a perfect take of these songs? Like, who cares if it's perfect, especially in music and art? The flaws half the time are the things I love about bands.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially if in the future we write songs and get new fans and they go back and listen to our old stuff, I think that they could fall in love with those imperfections even more.
My song, True Love's First Kiss, it's not out yet. But
are you going to release that? What's your plans with it?
I don't know. Lenny, I want to do a music video first. I want to release it with a music video because now I know how to like film and edit. Like I feel like I can.
Is it
do a pretty cool
humor
video.
based, or are you gonna do like just serious?
Probably serious.
Serious.
Yeah.
I would be really
just because it's a love story. Like, and I want to have Whitney in it because I wrote it about her. Or should I just do a random girl? That sounds good. She'd be pissed, but that sounds like a great idea. You know,
You want me to dress up as a girl?
I'm gonna start messaging people. She's gonna be like, Daniel, why are all these messages coming through?
What about you have just like a chick,
Or,
the back of a girl chick's hair, and at the very end turns around.
You
and
turn
it's
around
me.
and it's you. Yeah, I have a wig. I got a couple of those
I've got
laying
a couple
around.
wigs too. I don't know what that says about us that we have wigs, but
We should wear them next episode. That'd be great.
oh yeah, I'll bring them.
But I'll release it eventually.
Do you have any concepts for the music video? Like any like?
I think it'll just be cliche, like driving it around town or walking across the bridge, holding hands, or
Are you gonna lip sync in it?
yeah. Certain parts, and
Yeah.
then certain parts like maybe kids playing, or like I want to do like family footage stuff too.
Yeah.
I have an idea. It's just executing that idea, finding the time to do it. The song's finished and recorded, but what I was saying is just playing it live now. When I say live, I mean me in my living room because
Yeah.
I don't play in front of millions of people, but just playing it like I change a little bit here and there, even though it's finished. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can perfect it later on if someone else wants to buy it in the future. You know, it's a finished song. I think it could be radio worthy, in my opinion. You know, it's simple, it's catchy, it's a little cliche, but it wasn't intended to be cliche.
You should get it out.
Yeah.
You should post it.
I don't know how to do that.
I guess if you wanted to,
You could do it for me. I mean,
oh yeah. It's easy. Yeah, we'll go into that later. But yeah, you should write more.
I know.
You're good at writing songs. You have a good voice.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Not right now, I don't. Could you
Well,
imagine a
that's
song now?
Well, I don't know.
I could get real. I started Happy Birthday at Haley's birthday party. My sister's stepdaughter. I was like, y'all want Barry White to start I was like, Happy Birthday to you. I mean, this is good.
Yeah.
It sounds great. But I do enjoy music. I love playing music. I felt like when we wrote music, like it was just fun and it was just simple and.
You know, during that time, I think it's like one of my greatest benefits, and it sucks that I just can't sing very well. But like harmony, like when we learned harmony together.
That was before puberty, so that's why we sounded great.
That's true. But I remember that was like the only thing I remember people, like I remember one time a band hit me up because they were like, I know you're good at like harmonies and stuff. And 100% is because they heard what you and I used to do together. And
some of those harmonies were sick.
They're nasty.
I mean,
honestly, a 2-person too. That's not even really.
And it's just changing tones during the singing process.
Yeah, and it just having that harmony hit the emotion of that moment, and it's like intuitive now. And I think that was because of Blink-182.
Oh yeah,
their like Mark's specifically harmonies were always very like perfectly like.
Yeah.
If you were just gonna have one person harmony there, that's the harmony to hit. That's the note to hit.
Yeah, based off the lead singer's vocal. Matched with the harmony of the backup singer, matched with the tone of the bass, the tone of the guitar. It's just like
in the moment.
Fireworks.
What's that moment? Yeah. What's that moment? Is this moment supposed to be big? You can hit a harmony that makes just 2 voices massive. Sounding.
Oh yeah. Turn a 3-piece into a damn orchestra.
You play the octave guitar. It's
seriously.
It's not that hard.
But yeah, that was fun stuff. But yeah, I'll probably release it. But I was just mainly talking about that music. You know. Getting it out there, just completing that thing and perfecting it later on.
And the next one could be better.
Yep.
Or worse, but the one after that could be even better.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Every artist is like that. We only are seeing the best of everyone.
What else we got for him, Jay?
What else do we got for him?
We're about 40 minutes in. I think this has went pretty good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of little pieces of.
We've discussed the weather. We've discussed what was today's word?
Trajectory.
Don't ask how to spell it. Not me anyway. We could talk to Siri all day, but I'm not your guy for that. We could talk about traveling. So I just got back from California real quick, and then
Yeah.
I guess if you have anything, we can just end it. But dude, traveling sucks. I got to leave back out on Wednesday to go to Sarasota, a little bit of a warmer place, but California was beautiful. But the traveling aspect of it was terrible.
So, how do you think you would do if your job was, I mean, like you were actually traveling every week?
Every week,
Do you think you could get into like just like a habit of it that it would be easy?
I feel
ever?
like, yeah.
Is it just because you're like new? You haven't done this for a while,
I've never
right?
flew by myself before either.
Yeah.
So like I've always had Whitney there to be like, we got to go to gate 21. Let's hurry up. We're on time. I had to be the adult, for a week, and that sucks. So just having to like, oh, my flight leaves in this. What time should I? And honestly, I was still calling Whitney like, hey, my flight's scheduled at 5:30. What time do I need to be at the airport? But I feel like if I do it more, I just get into that groove of it. But just traveling in general, it's great because you see different things. Like I've never been to California. I saw a wolf while I was over there. The craziest thing, I step out to take a selfie of the mountains behind me, and I was going to FaceTime my mom. So I pull out my phone, I do like this, and I see something in the screen. I turn around, dude, swear to God, probably from me to the wall right here, this wall, there's a wolf.
It'd kill you.
A wolf. And I was like, the first instinct was like, come here, buddy. And I'm like, wait a second. This is a damn wolf.
This guy's this could be the easiest kill of
he's
my
like,
life.
this dumbass. Then I got back in my car and I'm like, what was I doing? I'm trying to pet a wolf. And so and this is before I even met with Nick. And I was, while I was meeting with him, we were hanging out that evening. I'm like, do y'all have wolves here? My mom, I called mom after. I'm like, you won't believe it. I just saw a wolf. He was right behind me. And she was like, are you sure it wasn't a coyote? I'm like, Mom, we have coyotes in Kentucky. This was not a coyote. One, this was way bigger. And it looked like a wolf from the movies, I've seen Twilight before. And so I was like, Nick, was this a wolf? And he was like, yeah, dude, they released a couple packs way further up north.
They released a couple
they like brought them there and released them.
to kill like some type of
People, I have no idea.
population issue.
To take care of the goats, I guess. I have no idea. But they dropped them off, I guess to like just make them populate in that area.
Maybe they're thinning out some other population.
It's the mountains. But anyways, they've migrated down between Reno and Susanville. And I was just like, dude, that is crazy. He's like, we seen it in the papers. He said he's lived in California his whole life, never seen a wolf. I go visit for 3 days and experience a wolf, 2 deer fight probably 15 feet.
2 deer fighting?
Oh, yeah, massive. I got it on my phone. I'll show you. 2 huge deers, like locked in antlers fight. Stuff you see on the Cabela's channel by flipping through on accident, and it was just the craziest thing. But the flight process sucked. Seeing people was great. Meeting new people was great. Everybody's got a different story.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm enjoying about it, is because I love people in general. So just being able to meet Nick, who's a influencer, the comedians that I'm planning to meet soon, it's just everybody's got a different story, and it's different stuff. Like even if it's the influencer who makes the different content versus the comedian, which I know nothing about, just hearing the stories and their process of thinking or their experiences of when they're at work, it's just different stories.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
No, yeah, you're seeing the world.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Not a lot of people get to go and see the world outside of where they're from.
I don't know where I'm going next. I think maybe Texas to meet up with this drummer guy. Killer drummer.
Really?
Yeah. And he's a full-time musician. But just anybody and everybody. I just want to know more about you.
Yeah,
you know,
you got
what I mean?
something interesting about
It's
you.
full, yeah.
To talk about.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just like weird like me, I don't want to know nothing about you. But if you're a normal human being, hit me up.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah.
It'll be interesting to see once you talk to all these different types of people who have talents of it, whatever it is, to seeing what's the common thing thing that they all have in common.
That's true,
right?
yeah.
And I bet there are a lot of things that they'll have.
I'm sure, yeah.
What we're talking about today with hard work and making their dreams come true.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of things you can pull from those people
Yeah.
that would honestly
inspire, motivate. Just being around him, it's like, and I could help with that process too, because there's certain things he didn't know about social media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm an open book. Like I will help. I'm not one of those people that is going to hold you back just because I want to be on top.
There's room for all of us to eat.
Yeah, plenty. And the same applies for work. I've always trained people under me to take my job because I'm trying to move up. And if I don't have anybody to take my job, I don't know if it's anywhere if you've worked.
Yeah.
But if no one's there to take a job, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You're stuck,
Yeah.
So always trying to help people up the ladder, I feel like is important. And it's like they remember that.
Yeah.
What if he gets up here one day
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, Daniel, come on my show.
Yeah. That's
You know
part
what
of
I
that
mean?
collaboration
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. It's part of just the whole process. And
And this doesn't, all this doesn't apply to just art. It applies to, or entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
Your real job, you collaborate with people properly.
Yep.
And you will be much more successful.
Oh,
if you got a
100%.
pack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can
Like those wolves.
divide and
Could've
conquer,
just
baby.
Tore you limb to limb.
Surprisingly, there wasn't a pack there, thank God, because there was just one. And dude, when he disappeared in the weeds, and it looked like a scene from Yellowstone. I mean, he just weaved in and out and was like, this dumbass. Like he's over here just whistling at me to come
Man,
over here.
I won't even eat you
Yeah.
right now.
You just look dumb.
You dumbass.
I ain't even eating you. So he just moved on to the deer or the antelope or whatever they got over there.
Except with more meat on the bone.
Yeah. He saw me and was like, I don't want no little Debbie cake right now. I want some beef. But yeah, man, today's been good, dude. You want to send them off with anything?
I think we nailed it. Think about where you want to be in the future.
Yep. And then again, we always enjoy trying to help people talk about
Absolutely.
Their issues or problems, or if you need help trying to decide on what to do.
Well, look, we've got a Instagram now
Yes.
and a YouTube. Technically, nothing's on there yet. Well, actually, I guess it will be if you see this.
This will be on there.
If you see this, but you're welcome to message us.
Yeah.
On Instagram is Daniel and Jordan Podcast. Send us some advice or ask for advice. What do you need advice on? We will happily give you our worst answers.
Yep. We're definitely not professionals, but we are great at, giving other people great advice because we just don't take the great advice ourselves.
Not professionals, but we're friends.
Exactly.
And that's what this whole podcast is really about, I guess.
That's right, guys. So we'll see you next time here on the Daniel
And Jordan.
podcast.
Later.
How do we start that last time?
How do we start the ending?
How do we do the intro?
The intro? You say this. Hi, I'm Daniel.
Hi, I'm Daniel. Oh,
And I'm Jordan.
yeah. So we got to
this
figure
has
out an
been-
outro.
Yeah, we'll figure an outro out there. That's a later thing. See, you don't have to have the idea done to start.
That's right. But this episode's posted, baby.
That's right. All right.
We'll see you next time.
later.
See you guys.